Most front-end developer think their job ends after writing the UI code, writing Angular or React code. But let me tell you one most important thing. If you don't know the basics of backend, then you will always struggle in your job. In this video, I will explain why the backend basic knowledge is very important for the front-end developer, and if you know that, you can become a good developer, good problem solver, even you can increase your salary very quickly. You need to understand front-end is not complete without backend. So front-end is something like beautiful car without engine. Yes, your UI may look attractive, but what if data is not coming as per expected? What if your dashboard is not rendering? What if your UI screen is failing? What if your API is failing? Your UI is useless without the backend. So real application build with the both, like front end and the backend. And if you know the both, like front end and at least basic of the backend, then you can build the good system. Why the backend knowledge is important? Because if you know the backend, you will understand API better. So maybe front-end developer say that give me the API, I will call it. But the actual professional developer always ask like what payload I need to send. What is if you are getting some bad request error, 400 request. What if you are getting the unauthorized error? So if you understand the backend, then you can understand this thing like a pro. When you understand the backend concept, you will understand the HTTP method. You will understand the status code. You will understand authentication, authorization. Now the biggest pain of front-end development is debugging. Sometimes you will face like 500 error, core error, unauthorized request. So when you know the basic of backend, you will understand where is the problem actually exists. You will understand this problem is from the security point of view. This problem is from the server. So this will help you to save your time and debug your code. And you can communicate with other teammates effectively because you know what is the problem is. Otherwise, you will spend lots of time to debugging your code and you will assume like my code is correct, then why it is not working. So another big reason is dependency. So you have to communicate with the backend developer as a front-end developer because you are getting some error. But if you don't know the basics, if you don't know the correct term, so you will not able to communicate with the backend developer effectively because you have to tell him what is the actual problem. So if you know the basics of backend, so you will understand the actual problem, then you can tell the backend developer where he need to change and where the actual problem is exist. Backend knowledge make you faster because you know, if you know how the backend is work, then you will plan your UI accordingly. Like you know how the data is stored, how the status code will come. So you will plan, you will design your UI accordingly, which will save lots of your time as a front-end developer. Now, I am not saying that you have to be backend expert as a front-end developer as well, but what I am saying, you should at least know how the API works, how the server-side validation work, how the data flow work basically. So then you can become the most effective front-end developer. So let me summarize how the backend knowledge help front-end developer. You will understand API better. You can debug your code faster. You can communicate effectively with other teammates. Your growth will be faster, and this will help you to grow in your career and you will get more and more opportunity. So don't stuck with front end only. Also try to explore backend part and give some time to your learning. Thanks for watching this video. If this video helped you, please like the video, subscribe the channel. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.